All right. Hey, talking about Zillow stuff again. We're recording, by the way. Do you all have your own Fairway app to share with your clients? I think Ashley said yes. Jennifer said no. Hannah's got hers, I know. If you're watching this after the fact or you're watching it now, please call Austin's team, email Austin's team and get it, because you could share mine, but that doesn't help Austin know who to communicate with and all that. But get your app. It's going to have your face on it. It's going to look like you're legit. It's going to be awesome. So get your own app and it's going to be real easy. So work with him directly on that, or his team directly on that. All right. That's going to be huge. So other teammates just watching this later do that. That's a right now get her done thing. So second, always get in front of them. In normal circumstances, always set an appointment of some kind. There was a number of phone calls this week where, they're not pre-approved. And we, yes, they need to be pre-approved to buy a house. You can't buy a house without money in most cases. And do we want them to get pre-approved? And even if they're offering, hey, I'd like to get pre-approved first before I look at houses, like you've got the perfect buyer and they're saying that, awesome. Say, great, I'll buy you coffee. Let's go sit down and chat. Let's make sure we're all headed the right direction. And I'd love to meet you. Get in front of them. Go show them a house. Don't show them a house. That's fine. But get an appointment. Don't let them off the phone without an appointment in normal circumstances. If they're not approved, if they are approved, if they're looking at houses, if they're thinking about whatever it is, get in front of them. You guys are going to build rapport in front of them. Your goal is not to sell a house every single phone call. Your goal is the next step. The next step is an appointment. So don't get off the phone without the next step, which is scheduled on the calendar, which is an appointment. Okay. That is absolute key. It's like, it'd be like, imagine it being like a listing. If I tried to sell a listing, meaning get the listing so I can be the listing agent on a phone call from Zillow, that would be ridiculous. What am I going to do? Phone call is step one. The next thing is I need to set an appointment. I got to go to the house. I got to meet him for coffee. I got to do something. And then there's the next step after that. So then, then there's the next step after that, the next step after that. But if you leave that phone call without an appointment set, you may not ever get them back. They have no reason to call you back. They have no reason to talk to you again. You didn't even set an appointment with them. You don't know how to, whatever it is, you're not driving the bus. So we need to set an appointment all the time in normal circumstances. Any questions about that?
Nope.
I know it sounds crazy because you're thinking, oh, that's cute. But I'm telling you, in the car business, they call it the be back bus. Hey, we're going to go grab a bite to eat, chat about it, and we'll be back. No, you won't. We know the be back bus never comes back. I'll give you a call here in a week once I get my pre-approval done. No, they won't. They're not calling you again. Of course, there's outliers that do, but they're not calling you again. You have to call them and you have to set an appointment. So anyway, that's another reason we send that link for the lending, because that's another seemingly legitimate reason to follow up with them. Brad's done a really great job. It's later on my list of following up with people. And some of you may do too. I can see his because he's got like click, 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 click. Like I'm watching text messages through the app come through and he's hitting them 5 times and they finally respond 5 days later. And it's like, perfect. That's exactly how this works. I've told you, got to contact them 7 times. And every time you hear a no, you're one step closer to a yes. Make sure you've got a good memorized open line. Hi, this is Eli. Is not a good memorized opening line. Okay. They could have called AutoZone at that point. They could have just got connected to any scammer, across the world at that point. There's no idea who that is. Have you guys ever had that experience? Hey, this is Bob. Bob, is this Hickory Stick golf course? Yeah. What do you need? What? This makes no sense. Like, professionals and companies answer phones with, hi, this is Bill with Hickory Stick Golf Course. Can I get you a tee time scheduled? Right? It's a terrible idea. Hey, this is Bill, or even, hey, this is Bill with Hickory Stick. Like, why do I, as the buyer, right, have to? I'm not mad. I promise. I just get intense and I don't talk with a smile on my face all the time. Why do we want the golfer to drive the bus? Right? We're salespeople, we're trying to, it's not in the negative sense, in the positive sense. We're driving the bus. We're professional. We know why they're calling. Now, are we always right that they want to see a house? No. But do we need to get to an appointment? Yes. So let's give them one of the options that we're likely to want to hear. So, hey, this is Eli with Simplify at Fathom Realty, part of the Eli Skinner team. Gosh, I'd love to show you that house in Franklin. When are you available? Like, perfect, right? Hey, this is Bill at Hickory Stick Golf Course. Can I get a tee time scheduled for you? Why do you think golfers are calling, right? They're not calling to ask what type of grass the golf course has, right? They might, but likely not. Probably a tee time. So let's do that. And some of you are good. Some of you are getting good, meaning you're at least trying and you're kind of stepping and stumbling all over yourself. But we just need to memorize it and practice it about 1,000 more times, so you don't sound like you don't even know what company we're at. It's like, hey, this is Eli at Fathom Simpla Skinner team. Just get through it, right? But you just got to practice it. Hey, this is Eli with Simplify Fathom Realty, part of the Eli Skinner team. I'd love to show you a house. This one in Franklin looks amazing. When are you ready to go see it? But anyway, so that's the story. Any thoughts on that? Perfect. All right. So get that done. You heard me say it a million times. Hannah, it sounds like you made a noise.
I was laughing because your thoughts on that. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, Eli's personality on the phone is so good.
Well,
actually, the thought that went through my head was Eli's personality in a syringe into my arm was my exact thought, if you wanted to know.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, it's it can probably be a little much. And what's the guy that wrote the book Radical about in church
David
Christian
Platt.
Book? David Platt. Okay. This is the example I use all the time.
Brain.
That's amazing. Good job. David Platt wrote a book about Radical, and he got indicted quite a bit by people because they're like, I can't believe you would say, because he was saying some pretty crazy stuff.
I don't like David Platt.
Okay, I like David Platt.
Yeah.
But he's saying a bunch of crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, but his response was, for every person that took what I said and did something absolutely asinine,
yeah,
I moved 1 million people one step closer to where they actually should be.
Yeah.
So you've always got these crazy people that are going to take it too far, right?
Yeah.
But the vast majority of you guys are in no danger. Ashley, maybe the most likely of taking something too far, just because her personality type, which I love because she's a lot more like me. Yeah. But most of us, there's no chance on God's green earth that Jennifer or Robin or Hannah or Brad are going to go like total, like literally like quote what I just did with the crazy faces and everything on the screen. The chances of you guys getting to too far is 0, right? So take what I'm saying. And if you feel like you're a little crazy, you're probably starting to get where you could be as far as energy, excitement, and fun, because they don't know that that's awkward for you. It's just, anyway. That's my thought on that. But Platt had that thing, and I've kind of used that in other areas of life. That he's like, man, for every one person that took what I said too far and did something stupid, I took them, 100 people or 1,000 or 1,000,000 or whatever the words were, the one step closer to where they could go. So, but the key is just to know what you're doing and be confident and have it memorized, so you're not starting every conversation with what should I say now. But anyway, that's my thought. I'm going to keep popping through these things. When asked a question you don't know, don't say, oh, that's I don't really know that. And then like spend 5 minutes telling them all your thoughts after you just told them you don't know, right? Because if all of those thoughts for 5 minutes have not arrived you at an answer, it's definitely not going to arrive them at an answer. So don't meander through your thoughts on an I don't know situation. Say, wow, boy, that's a good question. Let's get your showing set up, and let's get this appointment set up. And then I'm actually going to get back in touch with you, because I just want to double check with a few of the professionals that I'm actually going to contact and connect you with at some point. So now I'm not saying the exact words you might say, but my goal is to get the appointment. And then I'm going to connect with some of the professionals in our world that you're going to actually get connected to as well. And I'm just going to double check a few things, and I'll be back with you on that too, on top of the showing or on top of the coffee date or whatever. So we do have that tendency, because we don't want to look like we don't know, even after we've basically said we don't know, but just say, don't know. And I'm going to figure it out. So jump into that. That's something I saw. But yeah, I'm gonna get them connected to Austin on lending, and then get them connected to me on other stuff. We're talking about investing. We're talking about 1031 exchange. We're talking about what do we need to research on land, whatever it is. Get connected to the pro. Brad, great job on continued follow-up. I just talked about that. Bang, 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 bang. Finally, they connected with him. He would have completely missed it. If they aren't quite ready to sell, this is going to be a thing. You're going to hear the word appraisal a lot. One of the calls said, well, we're not ready for an appraisal yet. Actually, it was a text feed. We're not ready for an appraisal on our house yet. And my husband is on disability, so we can't get our loan yet. Yes, you can. Disability, no problem. Loans all day long. And that's the perfect time for me to come look at your house. When your house is not yet ready, you need us to come look at your house to help you get it ready, make correct decisions on colors, right? Grandma's going to paint it bright pink like she did back in the 60s. Like, let us help you. We got agreeable gray. We've got repose gray. We got white trim. We got let us help you make the good decisions and not waste money you don't need to waste. Like maybe in the killer market, we don't need to do the things you're thinking about doing. So this is the perfect time. And we can actually give you hey, we're going to put X number of dollars into it. What's that going to yield us in a return? Why would you want to do all of that work to find out none of it made you any more money? Like, this is why you actually have us jump in early. So again, very few times are there objections that we can't overcome by still showing up, by still trying the pre-approval, by whatever. So but two things, just because they're on some sort of government subsidy financially doesn't mean they can't get a loan. And just because their house isn't ready for showings doesn't mean it's not ready for you, meaning the agent. That was one. Another one, I already talked about disability. But so here's the question. Somebody's like, I don't think I can get a loan. Perfect. Fill out a pre-approval thing. Well, I can guarantee I can get a loan. Perfect. Fill out the pre-approval thing. So why? This is rhetorical. Why do I need to fill out a pre-approval if I'm confident I can't, or I'm confident I can? Well, one, you just may be downright wrong. That's fine. And we all have to leave room for that in our lives. But two, because what if there's something hidden that you don't know about? And you can tell this story. Eli, our team leader, had.
My bad, guys.
You're good.
I forgot to mute you before I answered my door.
You're fine. Eli, our team lead, had some clients that both had jobs, both made great money, both had never missed a bill. And he, after they're kind of like you, hey, I know I can get a loan. I don't want to mess with pre-approval. Like, let's just go. One, we're not ever convincing ourselves that we can get a loan. We have to convince the other people, the people selling the home, that need some assuredness. So you're thinking through your lens, you're going, hey, why do I need to prove that I have the money to buy the house? Why do I need a pre-approval? I'm great. I have a good job. Problem is, you're not buying your house. You are buying somebody else's house that needs to be sure that you get a loan. So that's one reason, because we're convincing other people that you can get a loan. I'm not going to ask you many questions about it. You're not worried about it, but you got to sell somebody else on this. That's one reason. But two, why do we do it early? Well, I'm not buying a house for 3 months. Perfect. This is the time. Why? You've got to be able to fix problems that do come up. These people I was telling you about, great jobs, never missed a payment. They've got cash in the bank, like they're 800 credit scores all day. Guess what? After I kind of kept beating them over the head, get ready. Opportunity and preparedness intersecting is what we all call luck. Okay, so get prepared, because the opportunity is going to arrive. If you're not prepared, then you'll be like, oh, I'm so unlucky. No, you weren't prepared. That's the problem. So preparedness, so luck is when preparedness and opportunity intersect. These people decided, after I banged on them for a little bit, they're going to go get prepared. Guess what? This is crazy. Pull their credit. Her credit, her Social Security had been stolen, and her credit was ruined. They were 2 years, 1 to 2 years from being ready to buy a house. Had they waited until it was time to move because of their lease, because of their other house, because we already sold their other house, because they were emotionally ready, because they're financial, whatever it was, if they waited until the time was upon them, they would have been destroyed because they had no idea. Now, months before they were planning to buy or sell, they were prepared and could begin to handle and deal with the situation. This is why we get pre-approved. I have no trouble getting pre-approved, but I walk around consistently with a pre-approval in my pocket because if the right opportunity comes up, I want to be prepared. So that's the story. It's an example of, and you might already have them. Some of you that have been around a while may have stories of people that thought they could get approved and then couldn't. But the great news was we're months from buying. So now they can actually take the next 3 months fixing their credit rather than just kind of chilling and then finding out that they're not ready when the time came. Like, it's a big deal. These pre-approvals are good for 90 to 120 days most of the time. So there's like, who cares? So 4 months from now, you're going to pull your credit again. Like, whatever. I get mine pulled like 3 times a month and my credit's still fine. So don't worry about it so much. All right. Don't go to 47 lenders like in 2 weeks to try to do that. But anyway, that makes sense. Any questions, thoughts, ideas on that?
No, all good information.
Yeah, my goal is just to give you information on that. Like, here's some stories you can tell, some anecdotes, some thoughts. That's the whole goal with this conversation. So good, appreciate
A lot
it.
of times I come at it from the angle of if they don't think they can get pre-approved, or if they aren't pre-approved yet, that like working with Austin, they'll put you in the best place and get you to where you need to be. And they seem to swallow that pill pretty well of, hey, you should get pre-approved now, or you should at least start the process because Austin's team can help you get to where you can buy a house if it's not now.
Yep. That's exactly right. They're going to put you on a credit repair plan. They're going to start helping you know what your employer needs to do differently with your paychecks. You need, he can tell you that you need or don't need your tax returns filed for this year. I mean, there's a million things in there that could mess this up. And we're going to get to the bottom of it before crunch time if you plan on it. And yeah, we'll fix the problems that are there because we know about them now. We currently don't know about them. But
yeah,
anyhow, and so call Hannah later and talk about how she gets there, because I know she's worked with plenty of people that aren't necessarily well qualified. Finally, make sure you've got good internet at home for these calls. You may need to invest in faster internet. Some of them are getting choppy. Maybe one you're out to, depending on your cellular provider. If I'm down in Franklin, it can be pretty spotty with AT&T. Part of that's just tough cookies. But I know Robin did a good job this week on one where it was terrible. She said, I'll call you back on your cell phone. And they hung up. It was, 20 seconds long, calls them back. So the only other thing I was going to say is, oh my gosh, these open houses this weekend. I know Jennifer's got canceled because they took an offer and the seller was sick, which is part of the reason they were more enticed to take an offer. But these other 2 that none of our team could do on Sunday, which Jennifer probably could have done had we known this was all going to occur, but neither here nor there, these Sunday open houses were smashed. I mean, we're talking tons of people, and the agents that did them walked out with big time rapport because they got the face-to-face appointment called the open house. And I mean, we're talking 3 to 5 buyers out of these open houses. So if at all possible, when these opportunities come up, boy, oh boy, jump on them, because that keeps it within our team. You get paid, I get paid. Right now, I just passed off a bunch of great buyers to other people. So anyway, that's my thought on that. I'm going to stop recording and we'll get through some deals. See ya. Don't actually hang up. Actually, we'll all hang up and we'll come back on a new thing because it's about to be over anyway.